Hello friends, welcome to today's video. I am doing a DIY notebook kind of video with this gorgeous Paige Evans collection called Happy Haven. I am obsessed with this collection. So this isn't an official tutorial, but I'm going to tell you how I did everything. So I am cutting this paper to 7 by 10.5, and this is going to be my cover. And I'm using double-sided paper, but I am going to cover the other side because I make a shaker on the front of the cover. So there are a couple different ways you could do this. You could do the shaker right on the cover, or you could do a shaker on a separate paper and then glue it on the cover. But I'm going to do it right on the cover, so I end up covering the inside, which you'll see later on. But anyway, here is the paper that I'm using, and I'm using 2 different sequin mixes from my shop that should be in the shop right now as we speak. They are 2 newer mixes that are in the subscription. So if that interests you at all, I do have a monthly sequin mix subscription. So I have this acetate here that I am cutting down to the same size as the cover, which is 5 1/4, 5 1/4 by 7. And I'm going to make like 2 triangle sequin mix pockets, shaker pockets. So I cut it to the size of the front cover, and I'm going to pick out 2 mixes that I think will go well with this collection, and that's what I'm going to use for the front cover. I just wanted it to be something a little bit different than just filling the whole thing. I wanted to do the 2 triangles. I thought that would be different, and then that helps the sequins just stay nicely and like not all fall to the bottom. So the first one I'm using is shell, and this one has really pretty shells in it. Sequin shells, obviously. The other one is berry season. So these are from some recent monthly subscriptions, and they're so pretty. Shell was the July subscription, and I think the other one was sometime in the spring. I don't remember which month exactly, but it was in the spring. It was a spring mix. So now I'm going to cut down my papers to, well, I cut them to 10.5 by 7, but then I ended up doing them like an 1/8 of an inch smaller, because once you fold the pages, they kind of like spread out beyond the cover. So I just wanted to make sure that they were, that they didn't like spread out. I don't even know if that is the right word, but like poke out of the album too much. So I'm just going to cut a bunch of like just simple printer paper, but obviously if you wanted to, you could use fun pattern paper in different sizes or shapes or whatever, but I'm just going to use regular paper so that the recipient can do whatever they want with this album, with this notebook. So I'm going to cut all my papers. I really do need a new blade. The blade that I have is getting a little bit dull, so that's on my list of things that I need to get. So I will do that, but yeah, so you can see my cover is sewn, and I just literally just sewed 2 triangles. So really easy, and just added my sequin mix in. So now I'm going to cut the holes for my notebook, and this is a template I have. I actually think I used it in a Patreon tutorial for a fabric album I made, but it is really easy to make. You just kind of measure the height of your book, and then mark where the middle is, and then kind of go out from there. And I decided to do 3 different holes, but you could do more if you wanted to, but I just found 3 the easiest. So just poking them in with this little tool, and yeah, making sure it's all aligned perfectly. And then I'm going to use, this actually came in a kit from We Are Makers, or We Are Memory Keepers, or whatever, and it's like this waxed thread kind of. So that has worked really well, and it's really simple to do this. I'm going to thread a needle, And I'm actually going to put beads on this album as well, just to give it a little bit of something special, make it a little bit unique. And then I hang a charm off of it as well. So you'll see I thread my needle and put it through all of the layers. And I'm going to, at this point I remember I needed my beads because I was going to put beads on it. So I ran to go get the beads. But you're going to put it all the way through, and then I used a little bit of washi tape to tape onto to tape the thread onto the book so it didn't go all the way through. So you'll see that in a second. Yeah, just put a little washi. We're not gonna, that's not there permanently, just to hold it there while we finish the rest of the book. So I'm gonna put the beads through, and I just think this looks so pretty on the side to have all of these beads. You could put charms as well. You could fill it up just part way, but I wanted to fill it up the whole way, and I actually added too many, so I had to take some off. I didn't realize how many I had actually added. But the nice thing about this wax thread is that it's really easy to thread through your needle, so it's not a pain in the butt if it comes off. But I'm going to put it through that top hole and thread it through, and then we're going to go back through the middle. Make sure it's nice and tight. Not that you'll break it, but tight enough. And put it through the middle again, and it is starting to rain. I'm sitting outside. I better go back inside. And then I'm going to put more beads onto the bottom part to make it look complete. And I didn't use any type of pattern or anything with the beads. I just put them on randomly, and I think that looks really nice. And I'm going to thread it through the bottom and tie those two ends together. And make sure it's all knotted and good and stable, because you don't want it to come undone, and then we're going to trim them. Honestly, this is such an easy, simple album. It's easier than it looks to make albums like this. I was so scared of doing albums like this for so many years because it just looked way too difficult, but it really is easier than it looks. And it makes a really cool album. Sorry about my head there. I was just afraid I'd cut it too short and it wasn't tight enough, but I think it's good. I think it'll stay. I double knotted it, so I think it's pretty secure. And now we're going to decorate the front. And oh yes, and I add this charm as well. I have this charm that I thought would be so perfect for the side to kind of dangle down. So I add that on there. And now we're going to do the front cover. And I found this perfect foam piece for the front because of who it's going to. I thought this would be perfect, and going to add some little gems as well. And because this piece was such a statement, I really didn't think it needed much more to it. So I just added some hearts, gems, and it came together pretty easy. I think it looks really, really cute, and I like the two different sequin mixes. They're definitely different from one another, but I still think it works because each of them goes with different parts of the page, the bright pink and the light pink. And oh yeah, so now we got to do the inside cover because I did sew right onto here, so I wanted to cover that up. So I'm just going to cut the page to 5.5 by 7, and we're going to, I think I sew the border of it and then going to glue it into the book. You don't have to do this. Like if the sewing shows, no big deal. It doesn't really matter. And like I said, you could sew on a separate piece of paper first and then attach that paper to the cover, and then you wouldn't see that sewing. So it just depends kind of what method you want to do, but I liked this pattern paper, so that's why I kept it this way. But we're going to adhere that to the page, and yeah, it's really easy to put together. I would love to know if you make something like this, or if you have different ways of doing it, if you have tips or whatever. But it's such a cute little notebook. You can fill it with journaling or photos or a mix of both, and or just have it like a fun journal where you put stickers, and a junk journal, whatever you want. They're really, really easy to make. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. And if you're new to my channel, there's lots of different videos like this, process videos, tutorials, all kinds of things. So if there's any questions you have, please let me know or message me on Instagram. I get back on there faster. So let me know if you have any questions. Oh yes, I wanted to put a little something on this page. So I found this piece and I'm going to sew on it, and then I'm going to put it up on foam just to give it a little bit of dimension so it wasn't so flat on the page. So we're going to do that, and then that completes it pretty much. I don't think I add anything more that I can remember, but that was kind of the finishing touch, because obviously the recipient can do whatever she wants with this album. I don't know if she'll want to add photos or if she'll want to write in it, so kind of leaving it up for her own interpretation of how she wants to use this album. But here's some close-ups of it so you can see how it all turned out. I think it's so pretty. I love the beads on the side, and then that leaves a place for charm as well. So really simple and straightforward, but do let me know if you have any questions, because if you're new to it, it can be a bit overwhelming. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!